You know that feeling when everyone's upgrading to the latest model, backup cameras, lane assist, touch screens everywhere, and you're standing in a parking lot staring at a 1972 Chevelle, completely unbothered, while your friends are financing something that parallel parks itself. You're elbow deep in a carburetor on a Saturday by choice. If this sounds like you, congratulations, you might be psychologically wired to prefer old cars over modern ones. And no, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just built differently. Here's the thing nobody talks about. People who love old cars aren't just being nostalgic. They're not afraid of technology. They're not stuck in the past. They're experiencing something fundamentally different, something modern car owners simply don't have access to. And psychology actually backs this up. So today, we're diving into why some of us genuinely prefer machines that were built before we were born. Because there's a lot more going on here than just liking chrome bumpers and analog gauges. Let's start with the most obvious question. Why does driving an old car feel so much more satisfying than driving a new one? Here's what's happening in your brain. When you drive a car with no electronic interference, no traction control cutting in, no computer second-guessing your inputs, you're experiencing what psychologists call direct agency feedback. Your nervous system is receiving real, unfiltered information from the road. Every bump, every pull, every vibration through the steering wheel. Your brain is processing all of it in real time, and it feels incredible. Modern cars strip that away. They're designed to isolate you, to smooth everything out, to make driving feel effortless. But for people wired like you, effortless doesn't feel satisfying. It feels empty, like playing a video game on the easiest difficulty. You win, but you didn't really earn it, and somewhere in your brain, that registers as a loss. There's also something called competence reinforcement in behavioral psychology. Humans feel more fulfilled when mastery is required. When you heel-toe a downshift perfectly, when you feel the clutch bite at exactly the right point, your brain releases dopamine. Not because it was easy, because it wasn't. Quick question, do you feel more alive behind the wheel of something old than something new? Like your brain actually switches on? Like you're finally paying attention to the road the way it deserves? Yeah, there's a reason for that too. People who love old cars aren't just choosing a vehicle, they're choosing an identity, a set of values that modern culture has quietly stopped selling. Here's why. Modern culture is obsessed with upgrades, with the newest version, with planned obsolescence. Buy it, use it, replace it, repeat. Society has decided that newer equals better, and if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. For people who love old cars, that whole framework feels wrong. Old cars push back against that. They say something different. They say that quality doesn't expire, that craftsmanship outlasts trends, that something built with intention in 1968 is worth more than something assembled by robots in 2024. And you believe that, not because you read it somewhere, because you feel it every time you turn the key. There's also research suggesting that people who prefer older physical things tend to score higher in what psychologists call need for authenticity. You crave the real and the tangible. A modern car hides everything under plastic panels and software menus. An old car shows you exactly what it is: steel, rubber, oil, fire, just a machine that does what it does. And here's something fascinating. Studies on material attachment show that objects requiring maintenance generate stronger emotional bonds than objects that don't. Every oil change, every valve adjustment, every afternoon spent bleeding brakes, you are literally deepening your psychological connection to that machine. You're not wasting time, you're building something modern owners will never have. There's a guy named Marcus. He bought a 1969 Ford Mustang for $400. It didn't run. It had been sitting in a field for over 2 decades, grass growing through the floor, mice living in the seats. Everyone told him it was a lost cause. His wife thought he was crazy. His neighbor laughed. His coworker said, "Just buy a Honda." Marcus spent 3 years on that car. Evenings after work, full weekends, money he probably shouldn't have spent. He learned to weld. He taught himself to rebuild an engine. He made mistakes, expensive ones. He started over more than once. The day it finally started, he sat in the driveway and cried. Not because the car was perfect, it wasn't, but because he had done something real, something that required everything from him, and it gave everything back. That story isn't rare. Talk to anyone deep in the old car world. They all have a version of it. Different make, different decade, different driveway, same feeling. This is what people on the outside don't understand. They see an old car. You see a relationship. You see years of Saturday mornings. You see the version of yourself that didn't give up. That's not just transportation. That's a mirror. Okay, controversial take. The unreliability of old cars is actually a feature. Hear me out. We're all told that old cars are impractical, that breakdowns are stressful. And yes, that's sometimes true. But for people who love old cars, something else is happening entirely. Unreliability creates presence. When you're driving a 50-year-old machine, you're paying attention, you're listening, you're feeling. You're not scrolling through a podcast menu or letting autopilot take over. Modern reliability removes that. It lets your mind wander somewhere else. Old cars keep you here, right now. Breakdowns also create stories, and stories create identity. Nobody gathers around at a car meet to talk about how their Camry started perfectly for the 11th year in a row, but people will stand in a circle for an hour while you describe the time your carburetor gave up on a mountain pass in Colorado at 11 p.m. in November. The struggle is the story, and the story is the point. There's also what researchers call effort justification. The more effort you invest in something, the more you value it. Old cars demand effort constantly, and that effort is exactly what makes people love them so deeply. It's a feature, not a bug. Here's maybe the deepest reason people prefer old cars. They make you feel connected to something that lasts. Modern society is obsessed with the temporary. Apps get updated and break, phones become obsolete in 2 years, software subscriptions replace ownership. Nothing feels permanent. Nothing feels truly yours. And for a lot of people, that's quietly exhausting. Old cars are the opposite of that. When you own one, you own it completely. No subscription, no update that quietly changes how it drives. It's yours, fully, permanently. And when you restore one, you're not just fixing a car, you're pushing back against a world that wants everything disposable. There's also something profoundly human about keeping old things alive. For thousands of years, people repaired what they had. They didn't discard and replace, they maintained, they passed things down. People who love old cars are still living inside that value system. You're not behind the times, you're honoring a way of existing that modern culture has quietly abandoned. When you bring a car back from the edge of oblivion, something that was weeks away from being crushed, that no one believed in anymore, you have performed an act of rescue that will outlast you. That car might exist for another 100 years because of you. Nothing you buy at a dealership will ever give you that feeling. So if you prefer old cars over modern ones, what does that say about you? It says you value mastery over convenience. It says you understand that real connection requires real effort. It says you're not fooled by polish and features that exist to make you dependent. It says you believe that some things were built better the first time. It says you've chosen to live with intention in a world running on autopilot. And honestly, in a world that's always pushing newer, faster, easier, that's a rare thing to believe, and a powerful way to live. So next time someone asks why you drive that old thing, you can tell them it's not despite the age, it's because of it. People who love old cars just understand something modern buyers are missing. We're not holding on to the past, we're holding on to what actually matters. The feel, the smell, the sound of an engine that earned its reputation. None of that comes standard anymore, but you already knew that. If this hits home for you, subscribe. And if you're still here, you know cars are more than just transport. But there is one car you miss more than all the others combined. I've deep dived into the psychology of why we miss our first cars so much, and the truth is actually a bit heartbreaking. Click here, and I'll explain why.